What up, 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 what up? Y'all already know what time it is, man. This is AD, man. I'm so excited for you guys to tune in, to listen. You guys, man, you guys been rocking it for real, man. And I really appreciate it. All the downloads, all the subscribers to the YouTube channel. We've been getting crazy amount of feedback, positive feedback, some hating feedback. You know, I just don't understand the concept of watching the whole video and then putting thumbs down. People put thumbs down on my video of me and my daughter. I was like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, what? I don't get it. But everybody has an opinion, so it's all good. So, man, today we got another episode of Commas, and this episode is like almost like a Q&A type of session. But before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to if you're watching on YouTube, what's up, YouTube? And you guys probably see my hoodie, Do It For The Culture hoodie. And I want to shout out shopblackrenaissance.com. You know, it's Black History Month. Shopblackrenaissance.com. You can get your Do It For The Culture hoodies, crew necks, whatever it may be there. But check this out for my listeners. If you are listening to the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, whatever it is, you may like this multicolor one. I love it. The quality of it is crazy. And when you get ready to check out, I'm telling you right now, you can get 20% off. I'm gonna tell you how. Type in AD now. Boom. There it is. It's that simple. Just type in AD now. We supporting Black owned businesses. And they're sending me product, and I want to make sure we shout them out. And so, man, make sure you go and check out shopblackrenaissance.com. All right. And I'm looking forward to this conversation. Everybody's been asking me certain things, certain questions as I step into this business world, Actually, I've been in the business world, but now people are just seeing that I'm in the business world, and they're asking me a lot of questions. And I ran into this young guy, man. I was walking into my building, and those that know, I made a major transition moving out to LA. I'm walking into my building. This guy follows me into the building. I thought, I was gonna have to shoot him or something. I ain't know. And and he was like, hey. And then he said, AD. And like, I was like, how does this dude know my name? Then he began to tell me how he watches the YouTube, how he pays attention to mannerisms and kicks and giggles. And then he had some shoes on, guys. And he said, how can I get you a pair of these? And I'm gonna show y'all on the camera. Hold on. Because y'all got to see these laces. He had on a pair of these with these laces. And I said, oh, them laces cold. And I said, all right. He's saying, how can he get me some of these laces? I was like, yo, I'd gladly take a pair of those laces for sure. And and he was like, all right, man. I gave him my number, and I was like, just hit me up, man. Let me know when, he was like, man, I live in the building and da-da-da-da. I was like, cool, man. You can give me the laces. And then a few days later, he texted me and was like, hey, your shoes are ready. And I was like, my shoes? I was like, what shoes? And he sent me a video of the actual shoe. And I said, man, I just thought you'd give me the laces. And it started up a whole conversation. I was like, how much I owe you? And he says this to me. He says, man, if you can just give me 6 minutes of your time and answer 3 questions for me, that's all I really want. And I told him it was late, and I was like, dude, just come on to the apartment and let's talk. And he came into the apartment, and he began to ask questions about business, about how he can better himself and better his business. And I said, what better way than to bring him on the podcast to ask these questions, because these may be questions that you all, and some of you all have emailed questions in, and the team has relayed those questions or whatever the case may be. But I really thought that I thought his questions were very impactful and could help someone else that may be in his same shoes. So I want to welcome Daville to the podcast. What's up, man?
Hey, man, I can't complain.
Dude, man, listen, I'm always jealous of people that got beards.
Why?
Cause man, I want to have like a full-fledged beard, man. I can't really grow hair like that, dude. And I'm kind of jealous. I don't want to be jealous, but I kind of am jealous.
Man, no reason to be jealous, man. You got all the success, so people need things from you too.
So man, let's dive into. All right. So before we dive into this, Daville, man, if people are interested in these shoes,
right?
Because you had to you had to modify the shoe to do the laces.
Yes, sir.
So how can people, get the shoe?
Man, it just depends. So if you see the shoe through this podcast, man, contact AD. AD can tell you how to get the shoes, what you need to do in order to get the shoes, how you can go about it. Because at the end of the day, this is business. Yeah. So my thing is, I appreciate the opportunity to come on this podcast. I appreciate the opportunity to even get you a pair of the shoes and promote that things that I'm trying to do in my life. Yeah. So I don't never cut the person out. So if you see this podcast, you watching all over the world right now, man, contact AD, email, contact them, let them know that you're trying to get a pair of the shoes, whatever the case may be. And let you know.
We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Where you from, man?
I'm from Maryland.
Maryland.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's what's up, man. I tried to, man, I had a little internship in the Maryland area, Baltimore area, and I hated it.
Don't say Baltimore though. That's like an hour away. That's like somebody saying they from Huntsville, Alabama, but what's another part, like another part of Alabama?
Like Mobile.
He from Mobile, but he say he's from Huntsville.
Oh, okay.
He gonna be like, So,
okay.
I'm from Temple Hills. It's closer to like the DC side.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. Because I know like they really take that stuff serious up there. From? So like people don't, like certain people don't even like to say DMV. They be like,
I'm from DC or I'm from Virginia.
Yeah. They be like, don't say that. I just be like, because my brother live up there and he just like, they, like he's territorial, up there. Territorial. Yeah, man. So let's dive into these questions, man, because I think that this may help someone.
Yes, sir.
That is thinking along the same lines that you're thinking of, and then also too, as people are learning me in this business sector, that it may shed some light on perspective. So what's your questions today? Because you can have whatever questions you want to have, but what questions you got today?
I'm gonna definitely give it to you straight. So
okay.
The reason why I even ask those questions because people value success on a different level. Some people value success as money. Some people value success as family. Some people value success as all kinds of things. Yeah. I value success as being rich. So that's why when sometimes you hear people call me, like if they're not calling me Daville, they call me Rich. Rich means realizing I create happiness every day, and not just for other people, but for myself and for everybody around the world and everything else may be. So the thing is understanding that. I understand that how can I be successful? You understand you can be successful by not being foolish. You have to take good wisdom. Yeah. And that could be from, like you said, from anything or anybody. You can see a homeless person say, how did you get homeless? Obviously making bad decisions, obviously all these things, but you still can learn from it. Yeah. So how can I learn how to be successful without making the same mistakes that other people made? By listening, learning. Yeah. When I go into these rooms and ask those questions to people that God ordains in my life, because there's not always people that have money and nice cars and nice things. Sometimes the person that maybe just asked, what's my name today? Or did you eat? Or I like your shoes. And God just tells me right there on the spot, ask them those two questions. So the two questions that I had originally, and the third question was just, I appreciate you. But the original question I asked, don't think about it. I'm going to just say the same thing. Don't think about it. Just the first thing that comes to your mind. What's the best thing that helps you be successful?
Mentor.
But which way though? Because, mentoring could be good or bad. If I'm from the streets and I have never had a father figure and I can follow bad mentors, or I can be around good mentors, but maybe not necessarily do the same thing I do. Maybe he's a great basketball player and he's a great friend of mine. He's a great father figure, but he doesn't necessarily understand the business role and how to get to point A to point B in terms of business. So what do you mean by mentor?
Well, I think mentor is different based upon age, right? So depending on where I am, age, and also not just age but maturity. Okay. So sometimes we have to gauge our own maturity, and we have to look at it from this perspective. In order for you to select a great mentor, you have to have great self-awareness. Okay. So you have to know your deficiencies and know what you're not so good at, know your areas of growth, and know what you need to do better. So if we are cognizant of our issues, our growth areas, and the things that we could do better, then we begin to staff our life with people that can give us language to help us in those areas, or give us language, like the mentors can give us language on who we should connect with that can help those areas. Like, I'm not good at administration. I'm not, and I'm not trying to be. I think a deficit to a lot of what we are called to create and what we are called to do is that we're spending time trying to learn a area that we're never called to learn. And
that makes sense.
So like, you spend time trying to learn, like for me, if I spend time trying to be a great administrator, I'm taking away from my visionary aspect, right? So I could be dreaming 10 years down the road, but here I am now trying to create, the administration processes, responding to emails, answering calls, doing all this type of stuff. That taints my ability to look further down the road. Instead, what I should do is that I should partner with the mentor, not necessarily partner with the mentor because my mentor is not going to step in and do my administration work, but my mentor is going to tell me, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to look for people that are great at administration, that are in your sphere of influence, that are great at administration, and then they turn around and then they partner with you, or you lean into them. And then, because usually people that are good at administration, they suffer with vision. So you provide vision for their life, and then boom, they provide administration to yours. So it's almost like a bartering system of knowledge that we help each other, we trade off, but you need a mentor to kind of decode that, to kind of give you language on what your life needs. So when we talk about mentor, it's us being very cognizant and sober in what we're not so good at.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big piece. So when I say, and I'm talking about like outside of God, right? You know what I'm saying? Like like everything after God. Like if I say, if you like, when you ask that question, what's the biggest contributing factor to success?
For your success. For your success.
Yeah. For my success, it's like, okay, yeah, God, right? But then it's like, like mentors in my life have been a major factor, because they are the ones that have helped me navigate through life, and then provide me with some type of language that helped me from my sphere of success, because everybody's metrics of success is different.
So going back to the bartering thing, like you said, so that's for when you find a mentor that kind of doesn't do what you do. So if you're good at the logistics of stuff and they're good at administration, it's good to barter with that situation. But what happens if you find a mentor that maybe struggles in the same thing you do, but they're really successful? So for example, let's say you're getting into real estate. This guy, he's super good in real estate, but he has no knowledge of podcasts and video work or media aspects of things and information that you're also into. So you have a real estate mentor. So my thing is, how do that change the bartering if he doesn't have what you don't need?
So I'll say this. The bartering aspect was for who your mentor is telling you to connect with, for you to work with.
Okay.
I never barter with my mentor, because bartering is for someone that's on the same level as you.
Right.
My mentor is higher than me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't barter with my mentor. Now, I do provide something to my mentor, right? And in my case, what I've done with my mentors, my business mentors, spiritual mentors, and I have acting mentors, right? And now I have production mentors, like, because I'm producing content. But what I do with my mentors is that I sow seed. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time that there's a trading of wisdom, I want them to know I value their time.
Is that the only way you can sow seed?
No.
Okay.
It's multiple ways. So right now it may be financial, right? Another way, with my business mentor, one of my business mentors just passed away from COVID.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And man, I appreciate it. And one of the things I did with him is, like, I would try to give him, he's a multimillionaire. He's like, I don't need, and I would be giving him whatever I had, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would be like, yo, I got like $100, you know what I'm saying? Like,
on whatever we need.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'd be like, no, I don't want that. And so I had to find creative ways to because I'm all about what brings value. If something doesn't bring you value, you're going to stop spending time with it.
Yeah.
Simple. So like if he felt that I didn't value him, then what is he going to do? When I call, he's not going to answer.
Right.
If I text, he's not going to, he's not going to respond.
Priority.
Yeah, it's no priority. But if he feels that his words are not falling on deaf ears. So what I would do when I got around him, make sure I was not on my phone, make sure I was giving him 100% attention because he brings value to my life. But then I look for ways to add value to his. So it's not necessarily a bartering thing, but I want to bring value to his life. So I had to come up with creative ways. So what I did, I started looking at his life and what I could do. One of the things that he was big on was like, cause he would wear suits and stuff all the time. Mm-hmm. So he was like, every time I would come around, he'd be like, man, I'm trying to get something like that. I'm trying to da-da-da-da-da. So then I started finding jean jackets. I started finding t-shirts. I started stuff that, matched him. So I would take the money I was going to sow into him that he was going to reject anyway. And I would turn around and I would go purchase something that I knew he would appreciate. Because I would bring value to him by listening to him. Because if you listen to someone long enough, they'll tell you
what they need.
They'll tell you what they need. Mm-hmm. So like when I walked in, he'd be like, man, I like them shoes. And if he ever said that, I would turn around and I would go get that same shoe. I don't care how much it costs. I remember one time I walked in and I had, this is before the Kobe Grinches re-released. Mm-hmm. And I had on the Kobe Grinches. And I came in, he was like, man, that's a bright green color, but I really, really like that. And I was like, you will wear these? I said, man, these a little bit too flashy for you. He was like, nah, I'll wear them. Mm-hmm. Immediately, like, while he was, like before he started up talking, I did this. I got on StockX.
Looking at
them. And I was looking up prices. I called, because I own a sneaker store. So like I text my boy.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So I text my boy Darius because he's our shoe hunter. And I'd be like, yo, I need the Grinches in a size 12. I had a size 13, So I was like, I need them in a 12. My mentor wears a 12. He found me a pair. And they were like, at the time, they were like $900. I bought them. Because my thing is, I can't put a price on what he provides for me. He adds so much value to my life. Why would I? And again, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. If he said, man, I ain't had no handwritten letter from my kids in forever, I probably would have wrote him a handwritten letter. Whatever he mentioned that he needed, I would be willing to do because of what he was adding to my life. Right. So it's ways that you can show value other than monetary.
So let me ask you this, because you have a point with that. But my thing is, do you wait till they ask, or sometimes do you take care of certain things? Because certain things in certain cultures could be not really wanted or needed. For example, I can say, I have money. That money's not an issue, but I didn't need you to help me do this or do this, and they might reject that as well. So there are some people that are very special that would accept certain things because, wow, I didn't, oh man, that was from your heart. Oh, I'm surprised you got that for me, and they will appreciate it. But then there's some other people that kind of reject that as well too. So how do you deal with that?
Well,
because, as us, we're looking for success in different ways, whether it's being around people, whether it's work ethic, whether it's some of those things don't get acknowledged. I could be working really hard for a person and he's super successful and I'm just doing everything, running his errands, doing this for him, and they don't appreciate it. So for example, when you're having those people in your life that do appreciate you but don't really necessarily need anything from you because of the level of success they have, how do you find something, regardless if they say it or not? Sometimes they don't talk. So that's good for the people that do mention things, but what happens when you have people around you that don't mention anything? And they're very like, I don't want nothing from somebody because I've been around people like that before and they always said something about how they got something for me or did something. So those mentors like that are helpful. They love being around you and love helping things for you. But how do you deal with that? Because I know everybody's dealt with that at some point in life.
For sure. And so really what that is that they've shut off the receiving factor because somebody took advantage of that, right? So like somebody gave and then they held over their head that they gave, right? So what I would say to that is that in those situations, if they're not talking, then you got to open your eyes more than you open your ears. It's certain things that you're going to have to witness, see, and be observant of if you want to add value. And sometimes, you know, what they're saying is pay attention more than you pay for me, right? So pay attention. If
I gotta quote that one. I gotta write that one.
That's you know, like, man, like that's literally what I be over here doing, man, typing and taking notes. But I, you know, man, but I'm in that type of situation. If you pay attention long enough, what they will do is that they will over time. What they do over time by you posturing yourself the way you posture yourself,
yes, sir.
They will over time start to confide in you. Even as a mentee, your mentor will start to confide in you, and they will because what, like I said, what they've built is a barrier of receiving things, because people will hold over their head. Man, I was able to give, you know, so and so this, and I gave so and so this. Right. So what they're saying is, because somebody has done that, I don't want to go through that again. I'm not going to shut off me mentoring people. I just don't want to receive anything. So what you have to do is that you have to regain their trust, and that's just going to come with time. That's an investment, and that investment is proven as time goes on. So keep your eyes open, be attentive, listen, pay attention, and then give them undivided attention. And then also value their time. If they're saying be here at 3, show up at 2:50, 2:45. You see what I'm saying? That's and be on time. Like, so how you add to them is by not wasting anything that they desire to give you. Right. You know, and that's what, I say, open up your eyes more than you open up your ears, but then just buy into it over and over and over again, man. I think mentorship is so important, you know, man. Like I've been doing mentorship, and now I'm launching on a bigger scale for people to connect to, and you know, people that want to do business or people that want to do whatever. I'm just jumping into that, and now I've been doing it for years, but now I'm like, you know, okay, cool. I'm gonna open it up.
Is this mentoring at a certain aspect? Is this business mentoring? Is this lifestyle mentoring? Is it spiritual mentoring?
That's a good question.
It's all types of mentoring.
Yeah, for sure. I've broken it up into 3 categories. Okay. So initially, everybody starts off together for the first month. Then we begin to break off into their particular sectors. Right. And it's 3 sectors. It's business, and it's leadership, and it's ministry. So like if you, and majority of people that
what's the difference between all 3?
Yeah, like so the major difference. So for the first month, you're getting the principles, right? Okay. The principles of business, ministry, and leadership, right? So you're getting those principles. The difference is when you're talking about business, you could be starting up a business, or I have a branding and marketing company, right? So maybe your business needs branding and marketing, or your business needs to become a legit business. You've been operating as a bootleg business for far too long. Right. So now we're seeing the veil come up off a lot of businesses, especially during the pandemic, that people said pre-pandemic, oh, I'm a business, I got a business, I'm a CEO. Then pandemic happened, and how come you couldn't get government money? Because you weren't official. You didn't have an LLC. You weren't filing paperwork. You had no CPA. You know what I'm saying? So that's the business side of things. How am I marketing? How can I scale up? What's my niche audience? How can I grow my followers on Instagram and social media? But then also, social media is a tool, but it's a horrible place to just have your only reach. So how do I build an email list? How do I build a text message list? There's a 95 percentile. If you have people's text messages, there's a 95 percentile of people opening a text in the first 5 minutes. So if you have their number and you can scale and you can build an audience within a text message field, oh, fam, you win. Because if I'm trying to sell a product, I'm not waiting on the Instagram algorithm or email or anything like that. I can text it directly to your phone. And that's how we're able to gauge who's really bought into our product and who's really bought into us. But then on the leadership side, there are people that are leaders within their family, leaders within their church, leaders on their job, or whatever the case may be, that now you need to be groomed as a better leader. You know, one of the principles of the curriculum is, how do I lead when I'm not in charge? because there's a lot of people, just because you aren't the head man.
For a lot of people.
Yeah, honestly. Man, for real. Like, just because you're not the head man doesn't mean you don't have the head man influence. And you can have the influence. I would much rather have the influence more than I have the title, because there are a lot of people that have the title that don't have the influence.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Especially these fathers. So
it bingo. Like right now, you know, we're sports guys. You know what I'm saying? I love LeBron, but you know, Frank Vogel got the title of coach.
Yeah, but LeBron, he do whatever he wants.
You see what I'm saying? He has the influence. Think about it this way. If KCP was on the court and Frank Vogel says go to the right, but then LeBron bringing the ball down and he says go to the left, who KCP gonna listen to?
KCP's in that left corner waiting.
You see what I'm saying? Because he's trusting LeBron. LeBron has the influence.
Yeah.
Vogel got the title, but LeBron has the influence. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what we talk about with the leadership aspect. Then in the ministry aspect, because man, I've done ministry since I was 17 years old. I've been a youth pastor. I've been an assistant pastor. I've been a senior pastor. Sat in those seats. God allowed me to utilize my gifts to grow a ministry from 27 people to over 2,000. You know, we've man, I appreciate it, man. That's nothing but God, man. We did what the unheard of in Huntsville, Alabama. We packed out the Von Braun Center as a church that had never been done before for Easter service. You know, man, God allowed us to do some things in a city that had never been done before. And I'm extremely grateful for that. So like when it comes to ministry, it's how do I be a trailblazer and not just and stay true to who I am without conforming to the box that people want to put ministry or pastors in or whatever the case is. Right. And one of the curriculums is, you know, being okay in your own skin, because that's one of the hardest things for us to do in ministry is for us to be okay being us, because we feel like we got to fit into a box. Yeah, so, you know,
confidence is not really there.
No, man, it's robbed.
Social media got a lot of people's confidence.
Bruh, it's robbed all the time. It's robbed all the time, man, because it's like the moment we step into that role, it sucks the life out of us. Yeah. And we feel like I can't be me no more. So, man, you know, so you need mentors that give language to that. That gives you language to be okay with being you. To be okay, you know, like to give you structure and alignment for what it is that you're supposed to be doing and how it is that you're supposed to be doing it and the timing in which that you're supposed to be doing it. Because you can have a great idea in the wrong time, but then feel like it's the wrong idea. It's not the wrong idea. You just did it within the wrong timing.
You mentioned something before too that got me thinking. Like, you mentioned also, you said you had spiritual, personal, and business. Mm-hmm. So I want to take this step a step further, because I didn't ask you this before, because you know you got to get to know somebody. Mm-hmm. So you considered mentoring as the thing that helped you the most successful in which category? Because now I'm gonna get even deeper with this question. Mm-hmm. What's the best thing that helps you spiritually? And I'm gonna go down the list real quick. What's the best thing that helps you spiritually?
What's the best thing to help me spiritually?
If it's mentoring, say it in a spiritually mentoring way.
Yeah.
Anything, but just
no, like legit. Best thing for me spiritually is,
because you know they want to know, because these people, you know,
for sure,
you're a pastor, but at the end of the day, you go through regular life and you deal with the same
for sure,
do, whether it's death, trauma, depression, anything that these people are dealing with, including like everybody. So,
I'm gonna tell you the truth. The best thing for me spiritually was, and still is, a circle of true accountability.
In which way?
And
like you said, people got circles, but they don't tell them everything. So accountability is only what you tell people.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why I said true accountability, because it's not the accountability of, oh, this sounds good to say that I have. Mm-hmm. It's the ability with church to say, in a church setting, right, to say, man, I'm angry as hell. This frustrates me. I want to give up. I want to quit. I'm horny. I want to smoke. I want to drink. I want to be me. I feel like I can't. See, like those spaces of true honesty aren't allowed once you become a pastor.
Not at all.
because
like,
because everybody feels like a pastor is synonymous with perfection.
Yeah.
And it's not. It just means that we've chosen to submit to a call to say, boom, this is what I am called to do. Flaws and all. God didn't check for perfection before he called us. He said, I just want you. I already know what you're going to do.
Honestly, I don't even just think it's the pastor role. I think it's anybody that considers themselves godly. If I come across the street and I have this cross pinned on and I punch somebody because he punched me first, they're going to be like, well, he's the godly one. Why'd he do that?
Yep.
It's the same thing if you go in church and it's somebody doing like comedy or something like that, and he's doing gospel comedy, and they're going to crucify him. But why?
Yeah.
He's still human. He's actually showing you other things that he grew up in life, that he's seen and the experience and stuff like that. Why should he get crucified for things that he's trying to show you to the world in his own personal experience?
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with you, man. It is the double standard, right? And I've seen Christians and believers to this day still kill pastors for being human, but they can do whatever they want to. We're all Christians, right? You know, like if you're a believer, I'm a believer, and I'm a Christian, you're a Christian,
right?
But I'm a pastor, and then you can go to my church. You could be a Christian, be having sex with your girl. I'm a single man. I have sex, but I'm in the pastor role.
Right.
They gonna kill me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They're gonna demolish me and then turn around, and the same people that's doing the same stuff, Christians too, will turn around and then try to make you feel bad because you're supposed to be better. And I get it. We're teachers. We're held to a higher standard. Yes, I get all of that. I definitely get it. So I don't want people saying, oh, you know, he don't want to live to no higher standard. No, it's not that. It's that if there is grace for you to live and to do, then there's also grace for me in my bad decision or in my mistake, or whatever the case may be. And I think that, and that's why I said, like, with the spiritual, you know, from the spiritual aspect, there has to be, and there is, the place of, like, where there has to be true accountability that says, yo, I'm flawed, I'm messed up, you know what I'm saying? But you got to have that place to recharge your heart and your emotions, to say, you know, hey, man, you know, this is going on with me right now, and I don't feel myself, and I don't feel like this, you know, this is right, or whatever the case is. And you just got to have that space to, you know, so like the greatest thing that helped me from the spiritual aspect, man, is just that accountability in that circle. Whether it be from my spiritual father, whether that be from my spiritual brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, just that space to be me.
So what about personal then? Not about the business, success, money, nothing, just personal, like your personal life, when you're trying to get to places, when you're trying to do things that have nothing to do with money, but just the things that you deal with, whether it's deaths or you deal with family issues, you deal with the family issues of families nowadays having alcoholism, drug abuse, depression, pride. Like what helps you be successful in being a better person? What helped you?
I think what helped me being a better person, the biggest thing,
like a better successful person, like you're more successful in dealing with your depression. You're more successful in dealing with understanding people and not judging people. Like, what helped you be successful in the personal aspect?
Counseling. Like, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Counseling. What
do you feel like counseling can be considered judging? Because, you know, some people will go to counseling, but they're like, oh, I don't want nobody to judge me. I don't want them to know my personal business.
Yeah.
I don't want them to know I was cheating on my wife.
Yeah.
I don't want them to know all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. See, like, and see, people that think like that really don't want to be helped.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, when I go to counseling, I'm telling everything. That's my space. Like, they are under contract. Right. If I hear what I told my counselor, my counselor legit can go to jail. For repeating. Like, I'm gonna tell you, man, I went to, and people that follow me know this, but I went to a facility And they didn't have it this year, but I'm going back. I'm going back next year. It's 7 days, no cell phone, no TV, no nothing. It's called Male Emotional Wellness. They got a side there's a portion for sexual, there's a portion for grief, there's a portion for trauma, and you just go into it. It's scary as crap when you like emotionally. Yeah, it's but I'm gonna tell you, man, that's the biggest thing that helped me because it allowed me to feel like I could communicate what I was afraid to communicate without judgment. Yeah. And
I think that's very important.
Ain't nobody like looking back, oh my God, I can't believe. Ooh.
Especially with you being a pastor.
Oh, you a pastor. Like that type of stuff. And man, like I'm gonna tell you, it's like we want people to be honest, but we don't create space for people to be honest.
No, not at all.
So what we do, we'll tell you, tell me. And the moment we do, they'll use that honesty as a weapon against us in the heated moments of frustration.
Right.
So like I've learned, like it made me stop trusting people all the way around. Right. I can't trust you, because the moment you get frustrated or get mad, you're going to use what I told you against me. I'm straight. I'm good. I'd rather just deal with this, man. But in the personal sector, the biggest thing, definitely counseling, man. Counseling was and is still the biggest thing that keeps my sanity. It's a lot of people that's alive because I'm in counseling. Like I had no joke, like for real. Like I'm not in jail because of counseling, because I ain't, like there is a streak in me that can get real, but because I know how to filter through my emotions,
right,
I'm able to process that and not just act on. But so like people don't understand, like if I'm talking, then I ain't there yet. The moment I stop talking,
it gets real.
That's when I'm there. If I stop communicating, I'm real short, I'm there. But counseling has allowed me to, to process that, man. I'm legit not in jail because of counseling. That's the biggest thing. And that's the reason why business, ministry, anything that I put my hands to, I believe succeeded or is succeeding because of my personal wholeness and me understanding who I am as a man. So you
feel like it's all tied in, like the spiritual, the personal, business?
For sure.
Because with yours, you said you got God in unity, then you got personal, and you got counseling.
For sure.
And then you got business and mentoring.
For sure.
So that, to me, makes a complete person.
Yeah.
Even if you're lacking anything, if you need anything right now, I think if you think about those three things, if you add those three things to your life, whether it's community, you need to have people around you that can hold you to a standard. If you're telling them you want to be successful and you're doing things and be not successful, you need to either cut those people out or continue to be a part of those people that are helping you be successful.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the day, like you said, you got the personal and you got the counseling part. You got to have people that you can be honest with. And half the time it's probably God or yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, how can you be honest with anybody else?
Yeah.
And then you got the mentoring part where if you don't have anything, whether it's money, success, love, anything, don't just go out there into the wrong people. Find those right people that are lacking in the things that can help you be successful and get your life to the point where you want to get to.
Yeah.
And then once you do it, I don't think it's be an issue. So I think those three things. I think because when I first asked you, it was just one.
Yeah.
Now adding those extra two.
Yeah.
It does make some clarity on how you got to the level of success that you got to.
Yeah. And man, I don't think that there is success without properly assessing your own emotions.
Right.
Your business is only going to be as successful as you are as an individual. Ministry is only going to be successful as whole as you are as an individual. People ask me this question all the time. Mm-hmm. Why did I step away from pastoring? You're pastoring the church thriving.
Yeah, I want to know that too.
Yeah,
I definitely want to know that.
You know, man, you doing this and you doing this, but people did not understand the war that I was in emotionally, and it's easy to say what's going well from the outside looking in, right?
Right.
But I'm in it. I'm in the trenches. I'm waking up every day. in emotional battles, fights, you know, all types of stuff. And then just my mind just being clouded.
Let me ask you this. So my thing is, with you stepping away from pastoring and still being just as successful in pastoring and other things, how does that differ? Because, you know, most people would look at your success like you're only successful now because you were a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, how does that differ right now?
Mm-hmm.
Because even when you walk outside, people that know you as a pastor, they're going to be like, oh, he drives that car because he is a pastor, or he used to be a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
He has that level of success because he used to be a pastor, or because he is a pastor now. Like, so how do you change the stigma of that understanding? Because, you know, when it comes to business and personal and spiritual, they're still looking at you as that
Mm-hmm.
counselor or as that business mentor.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you change that?
Well, you know, Daville, I think you don't change it.
Mm-hmm.
Pastoring is a part of my narrative for the rest of my life. I did it for 10 years. You see what I'm saying? So like, that's, you know, that's like it, you know, if somebody is married and they get separated, or they choose to separate, or they get a divorce, mm-hmm. you know, it's still a part of who they are, it's still a part of who they were. People may look at that person and be like, oh, that's so-and-so ex-wife. Right. So-and-so ex-husband. You see what I'm saying? And they'd be like, oh, well, the only reason why they got that is because they was once married to so-and-so and so-and-so. But not understanding that, you know, it's a part of the narrative. It's a part of the story. Right. And I've just come to the place where people can kind of attribute it to whatever. But at the end of the day, what made the church be the church is because I labored, you know, God allowed me to have insight strategy of what the city of Huntsville needed at that particular time. Right. I was something, God allowed me to be something that the city needed. Right. And so there was a level of success that came with that. Right. But I launched businesses while I was pastoring.
Most people probably didn't know that.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I launched business while I was pastoring. I tapped into real estate while I was pastoring.
So does that sometimes bring up a conflict? Because then people will be like, oh, well, he was able to do that because he was pastoring. Mm-hmm. So that everything I'm saying right now goes back to the success thing. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, how do you change the narrative? Because people wouldn't know that you actually took money from other businesses that had nothing to do with pastoring, mm-hmm. and used that money to become successful in something else that had nothing to do with pastoring. Mm-hmm. So my thing is it anything that most people can share or talk about as you, because, you know, this is about me and you talking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there anything that you can share to shed light on those people that when you get the stigma of your money comes from this, or the success came from this? Like, for example, I know a comedian, I actually met him. His name is Will. Mm-hmm. Some people value his success based on his comedic genius, but mm-hmm. doesn't understand that he has a musical ability as well. Yeah. So my thing is, some people might say, oh, he's only good in music because he was funny. Yeah. They're totally two different things. But if you only look at him as a comedian, you're never going to take him serious as a musical artist or as a film director. Yeah. So my thing is, how do you, as a pastor, how have you dealt with that?
Well, like, so for one, you know, a lot of times when people attribute my success to this one particular area, right? Mm-hmm. You know, like if they see, you know, I launched Heart and Soul while I was pastoring, and people like, oh, well, you know, the only reason why he was able to do that is because, you know, he took money from this and did this. Not understanding that at the same time I launched Heart and Soul, for a year, mm-hmm. I went without taking a salary from my church. Mm. So I purposely did that. Right. I purposely went a year, made it known. I'm not taking a salary.
A whole 365?
A whole 365. Okay. Literally, the person that was over our finances at the church, mm-hmm. told the church, pastor told me to cut his like to not give him a salary, cut it off. Like, but people won't say that. You see what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of people don't know. Like, so I didn't take a salary at all when I was launching a business, because I didn't want people to mistake, oh, he's doing this, he's taking from this to do this. Now, regardless on even if I was taking a salary from the church, what I choose to do with my money is what I choose to do with my money. For sure. You see what I'm saying? But I was trying to build the aspect and the concept of what I'm doing is funded by other areas, right, and not funded by this particular area. But you can't change the narrative of what people perceive. You just can't. Right. And people are going to think what they think. People are going to believe what they want to believe. And our challenge is that we got to trust that, yo, if you want to believe that, or if you want to say that, or if you want to think that, then I gotta let you live in that.
Yeah.
That's your business.
But you know how, Pastor, you kind of humble. You don't really say too much. You do your business. And
I do.
Just help people all over the world and things like that. But that does shed light on a lot of things that I would have questions for, like, dang, Pastor, how did you get this? You got this from doing this, doing this. No, he actually got this from doing business and good business, and people can vouch for him and things like that. And he didn't take a salary from the church for a whole year. That's a lot of time.
So I was doing, people didn't know this. I was writing curriculums for other pastors. I was doing creative consulting for other pastors at other churches. Series, like when they needed a sermon series, people would reach out to me. I would charge for that. I would write out a whole curriculum for them to teach. Now they would build their own sermons, but I'd be like, hey, all right, so we're gonna do a series called, Walks of Life, and whatever. And then so this week you can cover this. This week you can cover that. This week you can cover that, and this week you can cover that. That encompasses a whole series. Then I would give some insight to the direction maybe the media team could go to build out their visuals and to do that type of stuff. So like I was doing that for a year. Then I was doing, tapping into real estate investment for that year. Then also launching Heart and Soul that year. Then had Black and White Hymn that year. So as much as I was pastoring for free, quote unquote, and was not taking a salary, I was working overtime in these other areas.
It's almost kind of like double the work, because you still have to pastor your church and then still help not only your other businesses, but other people that have the same business without it being a conflict of interest where you're self-sabotaging those people's businesses.
And then also understanding this, man, at that time I was preaching, and I was preaching on the road. So I was traveling. So out of a year of 52 weeks in a year, I was on the road in 2019. I was on the road 48 weeks.
That's only last
out
year,
of the year. 48 weeks out of the year.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So that was the year that I didn't take a salary. I was 48 weeks out of the year, out of 52 weeks, I was traveling preaching because my CPA told me this, because when we tapped into 2020, I was trying to figure out, like, when COVID hit, I was like, dang, my money's real low. But the concept of it was, I missed out in 2019. Traveling and speaking engagements made up $98,000 of my income. I was on the road like that because I had to be, because I wasn't taking a salary, but I was building off that, putting that into my businesses and allowing my businesses to fund everything else.
But like
people didn't know that.
That could have been double. So my thing is, that's money that you didn't even take, that most people wouldn't know. I didn't know, especially all that success that attributes it. But that goes to my second question.
Okay, this is the last question. We gotta wrap up.
Yeah, for sure. I know. To my second question, because now I had to understand all the success and how it brings and how I can add more success. Because I'm a guy of gems. I take these gems, put in my pocket, and when I get a little bit, give it to everybody else. But my second question would be, after knowing everything that contributed to your success, imagine if I walked in the room. I'm AD. Kind of look like me. You look older than me. I got a quick question, man. Because if you are my older version of myself, I need to know. I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to have no regrets in my life. I don't want to have no mistakes. I just got out of this situation. I've been homeless, broke. I've been tired. I've been depressed. I lost family this year. COVID, stroke. I lost a lot of money. I lost my job. I can't afford this. My kids are going hungry. I need to know. What advice can you give me? I'm 28 years old. AD, what advice can you give me? So I'm 37.
Right.
So I'm you at 28.
And me at 28.
What advice would you give?
What would I tell you?
What would you tell yourself?
Yeah. What would I tell myself?
You know your personal experiences, because my thing is, everybody in the world is different. This is not to figure out how I am, because my thing is, as a viewer, as a watcher, I'm never going to know your life. I'm never going to know your understanding. I'm never going to know what you're dealing with. You're a pastor. You have money. Most people don't, especially in this quarantine time. So it's hard to figure out what everybody's problem is. That's for you to look and evaluate yourself. You actually talked about the gym to get yourself. Anybody, if you get community, you get counseling, and you get a mentor, I feel like anybody should be in a level of moving forward to their life. But my thing is, if they're looking at you as a father figure, as a mentor, as a man of respect, as a man of God, and they want to understand, actually me too, I want to understand If I'm 28, I'm 30, I'm 35, I'm 18, it's so many people watching, whether it's women or men, and I'm going through these things in life. I know the 3 factors to help me get successful, but my thing is, what advice can you give me as if I was you to make sure I don't make any mistakes or regrets in this lifetime?
So what I tell my 28-year-old self is this. For one, I start off the conversation and say, you're not going to believe what we did.
What did we do?
And I'm going to say, dude, we took the biggest leap of our life. And you cannot afford to give up at 28 because 37 looks amazing. And
AD is hard.
It definitely is. And at 37, it'll be hard, but it'll be hard on a different scale. The hard doesn't change. Your tenacity and your strength does. So if we miss a step at 28 and we don't lift what we need to lift at 28, we're going to be weaker at 37. So you got to lift now at 28. So when we get 37, we will feel the strength that we need to feel to manage the weight that we need to manage at 37. But then I also tell myself, don't be in a rush to go where you don't even know where you're going.
But man, these cars and these women, man. And
listen,
man,
we're always,
it's
out here, but also it's out here, but it's an illusion. A lot of stuff looks like it's the win and it's not. And for my 28-year-old self, if we stay focused now, it'll create the life that we want to live later. And your focus is everything. The enemy wants to rob you of your focus. That's all the enemy is looking out to do, is to rob you of your focus, to take from your focus, to take from your mind, to take from your insight, to take from your creativity. So it is all a distraction. Do not get caught up in the distraction. You got to stay focused, and then understanding that don't be so enamored, because at 28, this is what I was enamored with. I was enamored with finding my purpose. That's what I was enamored with. I want to know my purpose. Tell me why am I here? Why am I here?
I think everybody asks that question.
Everybody does.
I ask my question every day to myself.
But here's the answer. Here's the answer. The answer is this. Your purpose is not the destination. Your purpose is the journey. Nobody reads the book to open up the book and read the last chapter and say, and they live happily ever after.
But what if my purpose is the journey? Okay, I understand that, but I don't like the journey right now. I don't like how my life is going.
And you're not.
I feel like I wasted time. I wasted years.
And
for
you're
those
not.
people that think like that, because we all been there at one point. Dang, now if I knew what I knew before, I would have did things differently.
For sure.
But you're saying that the journey is the purpose.
The journey is the purpose.
To learn that.
The journey is the purpose. The failing is the purpose. The heartbreak is the purpose. The tears are the purpose. The agony is the purpose. And what we do, we overlook it because it hurts. And the wrong thing for you to do is to throw away what caused you pain. The right thing for you to do is to remember it, pocket it, so that you never find yourself back into that situation again. What we tend to do is that we want to hurry up and rush out of the process of the pain, but we want to be at the place where we're trying to rush out of that to get where, to do what? If we don't lift the weights at 28, we won't be as strong as we need to be at 37.
So at 37 is going to be amazing.
37 is going to be amazing. Now it's not going to be easy. It's dang sure not going to be easy. It's going to be different weights, but the focus of what you lift today,
right,
and your discipline today and your focus today in 2021 is for the life you want to live in 2030.
Okay.
I'm not thinking about 2021. I'm not building for 2021.
Okay.
I'm not even building for me to see. I'm building for my legacy to enjoy.
So let me ask you this. So overall, what you're saying is, out of these 2 questions that I asked, overall, you're saying for me to be successful and to not regret anything in life, I need unity, community, counseling, mentors, and I need to enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process. Enjoy the ride, man. just enjoy the ride, dude. At 28, I literally just came out of a counseling facility after I tried to commit suicide. And I remember 28 very vividly. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where life was going to take me. I felt I wanted life to end because I had lost everything. I was sleeping in my car and the repo man came and knocked on my window. I had to get out of the car with my bags, watch the repo man take my car off.
Take your home, take your house.
And I'm standing in the parking lot of University of Tennessee at Chattanooga because that's where I would sleep. I would go to the washateria, wash my clothes, to watch TV in the washateria and charge my cell phone. My best friend, Chris Sands, paid my cell phone bill. Told me I could come live with him, but I was too prideful.
Yeah, that pride crazy.
That pride crazy. And I was literally coming out of that season in 28. And to look at life now from the lens of 37, I would have never thought I would have been the senior pastor. I would have never thought I would lead thousands of people. I would have never thought that people would want to hear what I had to say. I never thought that through those failures and heartbreak that it would give me a wisdom that and a knowledge beyond my years. I never thought that people would want to hear what I had to say because I was so low at 28. Right. But I'm telling you, if we hold on, there's a different story that we're going to see. There's a different narrative that we're going to witness. And even for the listeners that are frustrated, upset, disgruntled, heartbreak, whatever it may be, that nothing is worth you throwing away what could possibly come. There is a greater story, and there's a greater storyline that's even bigger than what we know right now. I would have never in a million years thought I would pursue entertainment how I'm pursuing entertainment right now. I would have never in a million years thought that, ever. At 28, you couldn't tell me that. I couldn't see tomorrow. So I dang sure couldn't see 10 years down the road.
Right.
But if I'm at this place at 37, I think about where I'm going to be at 47.
57.
57, 67, 77, 87.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So just don't rush it. Enjoy it. Because if you rush it, you're going to forget something out of the story. And 10 years from now, somebody going to want to know the story.
Right. So I appreciate it.
Hey, man.
I think that's what success is. That's what success is to me.
Yeah, man.
Information that you can't get that, honestly, if I came to you, didn't know you, I would say, man, can you tell me this? You might not tell me.
Yeah.
You might not give it to me.
Yeah.
You might not give me the money. You might not give me the effort, the energy, the time. But I'm able to get that by just asking 2 questions.
That's it.
And I'm able to walk away with something that costs me more than money.
Yeah, man.
So I appreciate it.
So, man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your humbleness. Thank you for your hunger. That's a big thing. Man, so listen, guys, thank you for tuning in. This one got real. And so I appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening. Don't forget, man, if you want to get these shoes, man, get these shoes, these laces, and I love them. Make sure you hit up the email, and man, we'll point you in the right direction. And man, listen, don't forget that God is doing more than what you think he is, and you're doing better than what you think you are. Again, God is doing more than what you think he is, and you're doing better than what you think you are. Thank you for listening to Commas, and can't wait to talk to you next week. See you soon.